Morning, everybody, and welcome to a short version of what's going on here. I'm Bob Venn, as usual. Calvin Castine behind the camera. A little bit different this morning. We're in Rouse's Point to talk with some people who want to see a new ball field for the young ladies of the area. And at the dinner for Dawn O'Boyle, Kim Gearson, I'm going to forget your name, Kim, and her husband had mentioned to me that they're going to try to make money, raise some money for this field, and they asked if we could get any time with us. And so here we are on this Wednesday morning. And where do we start from there, guys? Let's see who's here. Tom O'Keefe? Tom Keefe?
That's okay, Bob. It's my daughter, Cassidy.
Hi, Cassidy.
And Glenn and I coached this year for the team. That's what got our interest involved.
Okay.
We coached the Pee Wee softball team for the girls. And what started the idea of the field is we went to a tournament in Sable for Carrie Lee Nixon. And the girls kind of got excited, and it just kind of snowballed from there. They had a nice field they played on, and it was pretty much a girls in the spotlight type of thing. And our girls were interested in building their own field. They were trying to raise money to build a field, and that's where we are now.
What age group are we talking about? What age?
We started off with Pee-wees, which goes up to 12 years old, but we're going to make it a little larger because, unfortunately, one of the things we found in developing this is that the girls' interest is really low. Now, and we kind of wonder what, some people say, well, the resources have not been put in because the girls' interest is real low. And we've kind of countered that with, well, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Is it low because they never had the resources, or is it, the resources because they don't have the interest? So we're trying to build an interest. We're going to try to get small kids, medium kids, and the older kids even.
Well, there are fields in Rouse's Point, at least a couple where they play ball. There's the rec field, the one behind the school.
The one behind the school is really, it's a field, true, but it's not a real good ball field. It has a lot of downfalls. There's holes like at first base, and the backstop is pretty dilapidated. It's not really a quality field, where kids can really play a good game of softball. So what we want to do is take the resources and build them a good field, and it's a self-esteem building thing, the whole process. We want the girls to feel good about themselves and proud that they have this field and they've made this accomplishment. We've taught the girls from the beginning that winning is not important, that sportsmanship is important, and how you get to the end of the game is more important.
Tom, when did you learn that?
Well, over a few years now. A few years. And
there is a lot of fun whether you win or not.
Absolutely.
I never had. If you can win half or thereabouts, it's good, and everybody wins half.
That's right.
All right, so Glenn, how did you get it? You were a coach. How did you get in?
My daughter was on Tom's team, and I realized Tom was trying to do this by himself, and I figured I love baseball. I played a lot of sandlot as a kid, and I figured I could help Tom. I talked to him, and he says, "Come on, let's do it together." And we've made a good team ever since. And it's been an experience that I'll never ever forget.
Okay, is the chamber behind this, or are you here because of your husband, not the chamber, president of the chamber?
This is more of a mom thing.
Oh,
I'm involved because of my daughter.
How old's your daughter?
She's 11.
And her name?
Alexandra.
Alexandra.
Yeah.
And would this be a girls' field rather than a field for other people in the community?
No, we would like it. The idea is to have a girls' field, but if the field is built correctly, it can be used for men's leagues, they can use it for boys' leagues. We anticipate on doing at least 2 tournaments this summer if we can pull it off. We enjoyed doing the Carrie Lynn Nixon tournament last year. We hope to go back. They invited us back. We hope to be there. But we would like to extend the invitation to other teams to come to Rouse's Point and make it a focal point in town here to have a ball field, get people in the community involved to see a good game.
Right. Now you're going to start from scratch and make a field, you're thinking?
Yeah.
What kind of level of ground have you got in this community where you do something like this, Tom?
Well, we've got the 2 options that we're thinking about right now is the elementary school where the girls have always played, and the rec center.
On the regular field or a separate one from where there has been some playing
It'll be
already?
a separate field.
A separate field. Further out?
Yeah.
Toward the parking lot?
Yeah. See, the ironic thing is when we began with the girls, I have 2 girls that play, and I have 3 girls, and I know you have a couple girls, so you can probably appreciate this too. It was just ironic that the girls seemed to take a second seat, and we want this field, we don't want it to be primarily, we want it to be primarily for girls, but other people are going to be able to use it. Now, they say that the village is supposed to have another plans for another field down here. So we're going to, we don't want to just go to the village and put our hand out and say, build this field. That would be too easy for these girls. That's why we're starting these fundraisers. The girls, we've raised almost $2,000 to date in about 6 months' time. And we're just continuing to try to raise money so we can go to the village and say, with our hard work, we've done this, now can you help us? And that way they have a vested interest in this field. And I think that's important as opposed to just handing them a field and saying, here you go. And they will build this, they will build this with their own, sweat and hard work. So, I mean, I think that's a kind of an important thing to tell them because, like I said, it's an esteem building process. We want to make it, continual, and we want, when she plays, when she's 11, we want them to remember these other girls that worked hard to build this field.
We're at the home of Mr. and Mrs. Tom Keefe, your wife's first name?
Andrea.
And I saw a little article in the North Countryman, and we're talking about girls softball. We'll be right back. You're watching Hometown Cable. Thanks for tuning in. We've been talking a little bit off camera, and the question came up as to whether this is part of the Youth Commission, or are you something in contrast to the Youth Commission? Maybe, Kim, you could tell us a little bit about that?
I think what we'd like to do is just make it clear that this is an independent project. We're trying to support the Youth Commission in that they really don't have the resources to build or support such a huge project as building an entire new ball field. It's a non-political issue. It's just something independent that we're doing. These girls decided during the summer that they wanted a ball field, and we decided to help them do it. And they've worked really, really hard. They've done the fundraising. They've sold things door to door. Like Tom said, they've made almost $2,000 towards a goal. And we've got things planned for the future that we're going to do this winter so that we can get this thing rolling. We haven't made any kind of decision on a site for the field. I think as Tom mentioned, we're considering the elementary school. It's a nice local site. Girls can get there on their bikes. There's already lights out there. It's the start of a field. We're also considering the recreation center.
That would not be your field if it was at the school, though.
That definitely belongs to the...
And there's liability and the rest of the things you got to get.
Yeah, we've talked to John Huckrow a little bit, and we have submitted to him our proposal officially on paper.
Okay.
He has to look it over and submit it to the school board because it comes to a board decision there.
Now, when this money, you got $2,000, who's in charge of this money? Is there a committee? Is there a...
Right
Basically, we are the committee along with Tom's wife, Andrea, Andrea has pretty much acted as our treasurer. We are, as soon as we just got our tax number, so we're going to be opening a bank account. We're going to apply for nonprofit status.
Right, now, I read the North Countryman article, and apparently you're one of the money raisers. You've written a lot of letters to different organizations and sports teams and so forth to try to get items, not money, items to help raise money.
That's correct.
And this football is one of your replies.
Yes, my wife wrote to every major sports team, NFL, American League, National League in baseball, the National Hockey League, and the National Basketball Association. And some of the teams have been very good in responding. We got this football from the New York Jets. We got some very nice things like the Miami Dolphins. Don Shula signed a pennant and sent it to us. The Dallas Cowboys, Jimmy Jones and their coach signed a pennant and sent it to us. And we hope to have either a raffle or an auction to raffle these things off. We got this from the Vermont Teddy Bear Company. They sent us a teddy bear.
that's new, yeah.
We're trying to, get enough things to raffle. Also, there's been some local business support immediately. I mean, as soon as we sent a letter almost, the Anchorage sent us a donation. Sandy's sent us a donation. Border Press sent us a donation. The Chamber sent us a donation. The VFW in right on Route 11 sent us a real big donation. They were
very good too. They're very good.
Yes, and they were very supportive, and that's what we want to see, Bob. We want to see supportive. Like Kim said, it's not a partisan issue. It's not a political thing. It's the right thing. Girls should have a place to play, a good field, and where they have bleachers and they can have a good time, as we learned this year anywhere, and we played just about anywhere, believe me. But we want them to have a good field where they can be proud of and that they've worked for.
Just a little aside here on that VFW. Calvin had a program here on Veterans Day. He went and copied it, and Don Damaris was saying, he wished that the people would have been there a little bit more for this Armistice Day. People seem to forget. The only people there were a few veterans and members of the VFW, and it's too bad that they don't support the VFW, just the people in general, as much as VFW supports other people. And I hope next time that VFW has something, we can get a crowd out there to show them that we do appreciate all they're doing, not for themselves, but for the veterans. They're doing a great job for the veterans, and I just want to bring that out because it impressed me when he said that. I should have been there. I planned, but I didn't, and I should make a bigger effort next time. All right, what else do you want to say now? What else can we say? What else is going to happen?
One of the things that, and this is a problem that we can, not a problem, but one of the obstacles with the school field that we're kind of kicking around. The girls, when we went to this game in Ausable, this tournament was dedicated to Carrie Lee Nixon, who tragically died a few years back, and it seemed to be like a very strong catalyst for these children. And when we started this group in discussions, we wanted to have some type of similar cause that the girls could unite behind. And we called the schools. I called the schools, the guidance departments, all locally here, looking for some local figure that the girls could look up to. Preferably, we wanted a woman, obviously, for the girls' field. And one of the ideas we came up with, we first originally kicked around, was Amy Gallagher, who was tragically killed in 1988 in Pan Am 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland. Now, that idea started small, and of course we had to talk to the Gallaghers, Garth and Betty, who I know, my dad worked with, and Garth's a customs supervisor.
Yep, they were both here from Rouse's Point.
And we really thought that would be we did some research into Amy, and she was a walking sports encyclopedia. She loved sports, and we thought that this type of dedication to her memory would just be the best thing for the girls, as they think, as we said, they put their heart and soul into this, that this is a real, kind of clinging cause. So we obtained permission from the Gallaghers, and they were ecstatic, I think, that we were going to dedicate this to Amy's memory. So when this all is said and done, we want this to be dedicated to her memory.
Okay. Are there any plans going door to door? You don't have any plans at this point going door to door for picking up money from everybody?
No.
That's not part of your plan.
Well, we sold some things. We sold some pizzas that we got. It was a new.
Yeah, but I mean,
permit.
not just going to ask for a donation. You're not going to do that.
We want to
Okay.
try to see if we can get the interest up first with the
Okay.
businesses and local people. And like I said, we've had an excellent response from businesses so far, and we hope that continues.
Okay.
And we've had a pretty good response from sports teams. And we're trying to write to airlines to see if they maybe, of course, because of the nature of the tragedy with Amy, perhaps an airline could donate some tickets and we can raffle those.
Maybe the plane that she was on, the company that...
they've been sold.
They have
But
been
yeah,
sold.
Pan Am's been sold. Their routes have been sold to, I think, United. But we've written to all the major airlines and stuff. And
Okay. Glenn, anything else you want to mention?
Well, it was a long, hot summer with 13 very enthusiastic little girls, and it's going to be a very warm winter just knowing that they're going to be out there. They're working towards this. We're all working towards this. This is their field. They asked for it. They came to us. They said, we want this. How do we do it? We said, fine, we'll help you. They're the catalyst. They're the ones that keep us going, and it's worth every second to see the smiles on their faces knowing we're getting closer and closer. We just hope we get the support from the community. This is one of these deals where you put something back into the community and it makes everybody feel good. And hopefully we'll get the community support behind us, and we will have big turnouts at these games.
Okay, that noise you hear in the background, by the way, is a telltale sign here in Rouse's Point. You don't hear often enough. One of the railroads passing through. All right, and anything else, Kim?
No, I just hope everybody gets out in support of these girls, and we want everyone to understand that what we're building is a community ball field. This is for the people of Rouse's Point, so we hope we get their support.
Okay, if you have questions, I guess you would contact the Gersons or the Keefs. Your telephone number one time?
First of all, we'd like to thank you and Calvin.
Okay.
This is part of the support that we get, and we appreciate you here, and we'd like to thank everybody that's been involved. And if you have any interest in becoming involved in this, you can contact either Kim or myself. My number is 297-2976. It's a
In the
real
book?
easy number. No, it's unlisted,
Not in
but
the
it's a
book.
real easy number. 2976.
2976.
Yeah, it's easy. And the
Okay.
Gersons, are you guys in the book? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just-
Okay, you're in the book. Okay, it's like 1976 except change the first number.
That's right.
There
That's
you
right.
go. All right.
But we really appreciate you guys coming over.
Well, thank you very much. Hometown Cable tries to be there. We can't always give as much time as we'd like, but at least you've got an idea what's happening here. And if you're interested, you could be interested whether you have a boy or a girl, because That boy's going to marry a girl one of these days. You probably want to see some of the games. In the meantime, thanks very much. And I'm Bob Venn, Calvin Castine on the camera, Hometown Cable. Keep your station, keep your TV tuned to Cable 21. That's where Hometown Cable resides, 17 to 18 hours a day. And you can see this 5 times a day, and we appreciate. Don't forget, when you're talking about patronage, don't forget to become a patron to Hometown Cable, $12 or more to keep this kind of program coming to you. Good night, everybody.